Okay, today we are making carbide tip tools, and as you can see I've got a little angle on here. This is a hollowing hook tool. I turned the handle, talk about the materials I use, talk about where I source the materials, and I made this whole tool for less than $5. So this is a long video. If you want to stick around and watch the turning, the bending, the cutting, the grinding, the tapping, the whole process, you've been warned. We're going to be into this 15 or 20 minutes. So thanks for watching. Stick around or just go find a short video that's entertaining, like that guy jumping and crashing. It's right over here. You can click on it if you want. Okay, so this is totally awesome. I have my 12-ton press, and I have a piece of 3/8" key stock in it, and just a little bit of pressure, and I'm making a hooked tool for hollowing. I'm going to be putting a carbide tip on it. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I went back to the vise and straightened this arm out, so as a hollowing tool, it's square here basically with the tip. I won't get too much rolling with it. And then at the same time, I bring this back down, which is going to actually make it straight. Okay, this is the violent part of the film. Put your kids to bed, cover the baby's ears. What we're going to do is measure precisely where I want to drill a hole. About right there. We're going to smack it about as hard as we can with a big hammer. The reason we do this is to make it easier to drill. With that one I didn't really get in the right place at the first, so we started out with complications. Yeah, that should help. Ah! Alright, pretty simple. I got the drill press lined up. I have the bit in here for 10/24. We'll look at the package here in a second. Tell you what size it is. I just need to set it here in a nice flat area. And then just drill it down nice and slow. Nice and gentle. This is key stock and it's zinc coated. Not that hard, but it's a little harder than just cold rolled steel. And I like the zinc coating on it because then it's not going to rust and it's not going to get dirty or need painted. So for a couple bucks more you can get zinc coated key stock. You can get it at Granger, you can get a place called Fastenal, more like industrial bolt supply type places. Usenco.com has it if you want to order it, so that's where you get this. Okay, now I'm going to show you how we tap this. So here's the cobalt, which means it came from the blue store. Number 25 drill bit and a 10/24 threaded plug. Well, anyway, you just put this in gently and thread it in and out. It's a good idea. Put a little bit of thread cutting oil on it. It just helps. But you basically just by hand get it started. Turn it 1, 2, 3. Feel it kind of tighten up. It's got stuff in there that needed to come out. 1, 2. There's JoJo. She just came to, see what's going on. Hi, JoJo. What are you doing? So that's almost magnetic. Okay. Well, we're still threading away here. I took it all the way back out. Now we'll just kind of hold it 1, 2, about 3 half turns feels about right. Then I got to wiggle it a little bit, and then I got to clean it out. So patience is kind of the secret on this. Just hang out with a cat and, you know, you'll get it done. But it'll cut some nice new clean threads right down in there for you. Once it tightens up, 1 half turn, 2 half turns, wiggle it, 3 half turns. It's really cutting now because it's cutting all the threads all the way down. So I'll just clean it back out again. Okay, you get the idea? And we'll have this tapped in just a minute. One, 2.5. Maybe it'll go a little more. It's now just coming out the bottom. Yep, so now I'm all the way through. I'm going to run it down just all the way for good measure. Yep, now it's running in just super easy, just like a thread. Oh well, look, we lost the cat. Sorry, cat. I can't plan this, honestly. Okay, we'll do the next one. You just try to get it going straight at the beginning. There's no oil on that, and that's just about as far as it wants to go. So we'll bring it back out, clean this off, put some thread cutting oil on this one, on the threads and in the hole. So thread cutting oil is just what it says it is. It's made for cutting threads. It's also very helpful when you're drilling metal. 2, 3, that's about what I like. Put on there and bring it back out nice and careful. I have broken these right off in here. And what that does is makes your tool about 1/2 inch shorter because you have to go cut it, grind it, drill it again. And so with the hook tools, I don't really want to cut it, drill it, grind it, bend it again. So we're going to be careful. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's easy enough. So I'm just going to bottom the tap out. And then I can wipe metal off the threads. So now what we've got is a sharp, oily mess. So be careful where you do this. Make sure it's in the shop where you clean it up. Now the next step is to fit the tips on here. And in the past I've ground a little recess with the grinder to have the tip stick in. I don't think I'm going to do that on these because I'm waiting for some round tips. And then I grind something round maybe with my Dremel. But for now I'll show you how tip will fit. Okay, today we are opening a box full of Carbide tips for making our own wood turning tools. And the fun about this is the fact that these are for my club. We are going to all make tools at the next meeting, so I'm not going overboard when I say I actually bought 50 or 60 of these. Everybody in the club is going to get a tool, 2 tools, and then some extra tips if they want to purchase them. So I got these from Global Tooling Supply. You can do the Google, but what they are Carbide tips. Some of them are what they call the bird inserts, and they're scrapers. Scrapers, which means they're not cupped out, they're flat on the top, very similar to Helix bolts only. whole bunch of bolts. Carbide insert, 14 millimeter by 14 millimeter by 2 millimeter, 4 cutting edges with a square face. And I got 15 by 15 by 2.5 millimeters, 4 cutting edges with a 4-inch radius. So that means they're not quite square. They're just radius a tiny bit. So here's the 14s. 14 millimeter square. Oh, that's a pretty slick little case actually. So I can do something like this. Pull it out. Take a look at it. They're marked 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then they're flat. They're pretty darn sharp. Okay, so the 14 millimeter by 14 millimeter by 2 millimeter, 30-degree angle on them. These were $1.73 each. So if somebody else on the internet tells you need to pay $14.80 for them, somebody between me and you is making $13 and 1 penny off them or something. And then this is 50 cents. This is a 10 by 32, ½ inch in length. Ooh, they're a little long. I didn't realize that. But they're the proper nuts with a hex end to go on these. So these are 15 by 15 with a 4-inch radius. That means the diameter of the circle is 8 inches. If you line these all up, they'd make an 8-inch circle. So it's radius just a little bit. And they're marked BT, which is bird tool insert. So they're $2.61 with a 50-cent screw. I know I could have gotten these just in a pack at the local store, but I opted to buy them because these are hardened and hex tops. So that was cool. That was unboxing. Okay, so now I do remember what else I need to do. That screw I have in particular, it's not the one I bought with these, so it'll work better when we actually get to class and make these. But this screw has a little bit different bevel to the bottom of it compared to the carbide tip and bottoming out, so I need to go get a bigger drill bit and just recess this hole a little bit. Okay, now if you can see that, I drilled on my second one, I drilled a little recess right here with about 1/8 of an inch hole. JoJo's help. And then I got my carbide tip cutter and just screwed it down on there so it's nice and tight. You want to be careful with these because they are sharp. And the cat, they're sharp too. And then this is sticking up just a little bit. Alright, you can see I got the bottom of the ground nice and smooth. The tip's on there pretty square. It sticks out a little bit from the edge. So that works pretty good. Okay, we're going to start out. We're going to make this little piece of wood round and drill a hole in it for a tool handle for those carbide tips I was just making. And I'm going to start here and go like this and shave off little bits. That's advice from Richard Raffin, such that if I started here, I could get a big piece that splits off and comes up after me, which I don't want that. Okay, how I'm going to do this is I got my Golden Goose Jacob's chuck, Morse 2 taper, and I'm going to put that in the tailstock. Bring the tailstock up, and I have an indent right there already where I had this thing turning. And I'm going to turn the lathe on slow. There's 500. I don't even need that much. And then just slowly crank in drill it. Alright, so what I'm doing is I just sharpened my parting tool, and I'm going to just pull this down, match this ferrule on the end. Alright, so I kind of dinged that up a little bit, but never fear, the parting tool and or a little bit of sandpaper will just clean that right up. I gotta quit putting my tools in. Jeepers Pete. Okay, so now find some tools you like and just copy them. So in the bigger tools, I like kind of a bulge right here, and then in the smaller tools, the same kind of gradual bulge is kind of what I make. So these two are ones I've made. Kind of my bulge kind of ends there. My waist is kind of in here, and then make it a little bit bigger that way. Now I'm just going to cut that out. Just go back to my Okay, I just got finished sanding it to 300. I sanded most of the marks out of this. One thing about this that I'm not overly happy with is this ferrule. It wobbles a little bit. It's just aesthetic and nobody's going to notice. And I undercut this a little bit, which I wish I wouldn't have. But other than that, that's a nice shape and a design. And that ash worked pretty good, so we can make 5 more handles out of what I have left for that. Now I think I'm going to put some Mike Mahoney walnut oil on it and call it good. 175 RPMs. I'm going to just soak this. And then I'm going to take the end of it off and clean up the little bumps here and around this off just with the belt sander. Alright, here's my done handle. I shined off the end a little bit on the belt sander. Good enough. I shined that up. Shined that a little bit. So now I'm going to take one of these handles and put it in here and get it started. And then the way you get it to go in is by tapping on the handle this way. Crazy as it sounds, that'll sneak its way in. And so I'm gonna call that good. We're gonna go find something to hollow. Alright, so there you go. Homemade hook tool carbide tip. Okay, what are you doing now?
I am sanding it.
With what?
The water sandpapers.
The micro mesh.
Yeah, what he said.